Notice how this towel absorbs more at first, less as time goes by. The same is true of our brain when we study. It absorbs more at first, less later. Here's how that should affect how you study.
If students study in blocks of 20 to 40 minutes, that's most productive. That's because that's how long your brain can really focus on material. And then you stop, you take a break.
I have to walk outside, I have to change pace a little bit.
The brain doesn't like long periods of time.
I just like to take little chunks of time.
20 minutes, 40 minutes?
It just depends on how much time I have.
If you're going to study in short chunks, and then take a break.
Stand up and stretch a little bit.
Listen to a little bit of music.
And take a 5-minute brisk walk outside, up the stairs, and kind of rejuvenate, because being inside, it'll hurt your eyes, you'll just get tired, and you need that fresh air.
That allows the brain, again, to rejuvenate itself.
And every time you sit down again, review what you just accomplished, because it's the review that puts it into long-term memory.
I think the biggest thing for me is that continuous thing, doing it over and over. Maybe it's just 20 minutes here and there.
One thing is you have to learn to pace yourself, and you have to do things incrementally.
I feel that I learn a lot better. I think it's proven that you learn a lot better by studying in little increments as opposed to cramming.
Study in short bursts, and don't try to do too much.
One of the biggest things that students do that hurt them is when they think they're going to study, they try to do too much at one time. They think they're going to read a whole chapter of chemistry or work all 20 math problems, and it's really very difficult to study for 2 hours in a block. And so what happens is the student will study for 2 hours, and it's so horrible that they never want to do it again, and so that then they start putting it off.
I always, when I talk with my class in University 101, I say, how long are TV shows? And usually students say 30 minutes. I said, well, that's probably about your attention span, so use that to your advantage and know that that's how long your mind pays attention. 30 minutes to an hour. So study for 30 minutes or an hour, whichever one you have the attention span for. Stop.
I study for 1 hour and then I give myself 15-minute breaks so I don't overwhelm myself.
Answer your phone, check email, check IM, and then get back to studying. So breaking it up.
I try to get them to break it into more measurable blocks of time, smaller tasks, maybe do 5 problems and just do them over a couple of days, break it up. And they usually can live with that.
Smaller tasks, shorter study times, both help you maintain your focus. So does revving up your brain by making it switch gears. You have all kinds of study gears that engage the brain in different ways. Among other activities, you can read, rewrite your notes, review flashcards, listen to a tape, research a paper, write a paper, work math and science problems, download and read your prof's notes for tomorrow's class.
Yes, you can switch gears, like you said, with you can rewrite your notes, you can type notes, you can read in a chapter, maybe get up and walk around and look through flashcards for chemistry, review, listen to a Spanish language tape or something, but changing activity is very important because your mind likes to operate in different ways.
Another way to switch gears is to switch subjects and types of courses. For example, you have to read history and political science tonight and do 10 math problems. History and political science are both humanities courses. Split them up. So you would do, say, history, then the math, then the political science.
If you mix things up a little bit, like you said, you study a little bit of math here, you study some English here, you do your sciences here.
If I have multiple subjects, I do switch about every hour, about every 45 minutes, just so I don't get too, bored and forget what I'm concentrating on.
So, switch gears. Break down assignments into more manageable tasks and study in short chunks of time. One way to do that is to take advantage of the time between classes.
I did most of my work at home, but in between classes I studied.
I have my schedule planned out, so I have those breaks in between classes to study.
Usually what I recommend for students is when you've got the work hat on, keep it on for a while. It's difficult to transition back and forth, so when you get out of class, it's better to go ahead and try and do some of your studying then, rather than going back to your room, relaxing for a while, and then trying to get the work hat back on and study.
You have those gaps in between classes, it's for a good purpose. You take advantage of them.
And as long as you have that work hat on, get the most out of it. Study when you're most alert, where you can concentrate, and where you won't be easily distracted.
I tend to get my studying done during the day also, when my brain is most active, because after a certain time of day, my brain shuts down.
I like to study in the evening and at nighttime.
Your favorite time to study is?
The morning.
Where's your favorite place?
The library.
Oh, the library is the best place to study. You can find a room to sit in or a quiet spot unto yourself. Probably somewhere with a little bit of noise, either the library in an open area or a coffee shop.
I usually like to study in my room at my desk. No distractions, just blinders on and just do it that way.
When do you like to study?
In the evening, at the library.
And why is that?
Because it's away from the socializing and the food and the Facebook.
So you're
It seems cliche to say this, but you can't have the TV on or listen to the radio at the same time. Some people may be able to do that, but you really got to concentrate, focus.
You watch TV and study at the same time?
No, I do not. Especially if it's your favorite show, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what happened? And you're not going to pay attention to what you need to study.
Here's a quick review of study strategies to keep your mind fresh and focused. Study in short time blocks. Don't try to do too much. Break down assignments into smaller, more manageable tasks. Switch study gears by changing activities or subjects. Finally, study when you're most alert, where you can concentrate, and away from TV and other distractions.